Do you want AI without giving big tech your brain? From sci-fi fear to practical sovereignty, most people think they have two choices: no AI at all or all in. And that just simply isn't true. They believe that they have to pay hundreds or $1,000s a month to a big tech company to have access to AI, or be 100% anti AI and stay away from it completely. That is just completely false. There is a happy medium, and I'm here to share with you how I've landed on some of these conclusions and what I'm building and why. Why this gives you sovereignty, why this gives you more control, more privacy, more security over your own information. So let's get into it. See what Hermes, I keep saying that wrong. Let's see what Hermes and William has cooked up for us today. I have 3 presentations. I am honing, fine-tuning my content engine still with these 2. I did have a decent engine up and running, and as some of you know, my William agent, my claws, both of them took a dump basically, and I've had to rebuild, or Hermes rebuilt them for me. And we've all just started working together again, and apparently there's quite a few misunderstandings. There's quite a few misunderstandings that I didn't anticipate. Learning a lot. So I'm excited to go through this with you today. Systems update week 23. So these are the updates that I have Hermes tracking for me. Week 23 is interesting because I purchased my Mac Mini on March 26th, which is my birthday, or was my birthday in 2026. And so I have been working with agentic agents one-on-one, specifically ones that are here in my office with me, for 2 months now. And so the 20 some odd week thing is interesting. I don't really know where he's getting that. I'm sure he's getting it from somewhere. So 10 weeks and then another. So he's going back to like December. I think this is because I started Serenity Labs in December of 2025, and it is really my experiment that I'm working on with AI and cryptocurrency. And I have, I started that back in December of 2025, so maybe that's what he's thinking about. But GTX10 is now online as a secure interface server, so I brought on. So the problem with just running locally off of Mac Mini, which you can have your agent and choose a small model to run on your Mac Mini. But most people who are running off of a single computer with no additional RAM are going to run into the issue that they will have to rely on Anthropic and OpenAI for any kind of language model. Or to go a cheaper route, many people are putting models onto a cloud, which can be a good idea. Depends on the quality of the cloud, though, and how secure that cloud is. If you're paying not very much money for your cloud, it's probably not very secure. And it doesn't, which is fine. I am probably going to have some use cases for that as well. I have one machine that will likely run on a cloud model that's hosting my own language model on a cloud, a cheaper cloud. But I understand that the security isn't great. So no secure information goes over there. It's basically for marketing and image generation and things like that. Where on local models, the nice thing about how you own your own computer, you're running your own model, your information isn't going anywhere. It's a closed system. And that is extremely important to me. And I understand, I almost wanted to do a video that said, fuck Opus, fuck GPT 5.5, because it doesn't do me any good. great, happy, congratulations for them. But I don't want to give them any more information than I have to. I do use them from time to time. They're great, wonderful output. However, if you're at all concerned about sovereignty, if you're at all concerned about security, if you're at all concerned about privacy, these ideas should make your skin crawl. And I know it makes a lot of people's skin crawl because there are a lot of people out there very fearful of AI. And quite frankly, I do not blame them. AI is an extremely powerful tool. We've all seen the movies, Mission Impossible, every sci-fi movie in the last 20 years has talked about the singularity of AI and how it's going to blacken the skies, the Matrix, put us all in pods and we live in a simulation if we aren't already, says Elon Musk, that we're already living in a simulation. Great. All that doomsday thing aside, that's not a very empowering thought. You can choose to focus on that. You can choose to focus on all the bad things that can happen. And I'm not saying never to do that. It is important to understand the risk of the worst case scenario. That's what I do for a living. I do insurance for a living. My job is to think of the worst case scenario and how to protect a business's downside. Same with this. It is healthy to evaluate the risk, think of the worst thing that can happen. However, operating in that space even 50% of the time sounds like too much. I would say 10. And I understand our emotions. You're going to have 50% positive emotions and 50% negative emotions if you are a balanced human being. That's just the way life is. We can't be happy all the time. We have to have contrast. You have to have the ugly to appreciate the beauty. You have to have the sadness to appreciate the joy. That's just the nature of our emotions and our experience here on this dimension, planet. And at the same time, we cannot allow all the terrifying things that can happen with AI to discourage us from stepping into the abyss and experimenting with it. If you are at all questioning the morals, ethics, philosophies around AI, you are probably someone that we need building and working in AI. Because the bad guys, they don't think twice about it. Can AI help them get what they want? Yes. There's no question they're using it. Morals, ethics aside. They are building with it. And I believe the more good, moral, ethical people we have building out their businesses and building out their skills and abilities and be able to work along AI and improve their quality work and output, the better off we all will be in the long run. And if any of these thoughts terrify you, they should. However, I don't want them to completely discourage you from touching AI at all. What I would encourage you to do is research closed systems and local models. And one of the really cool things about this ASUS GX10, and I'm sure there are more now, is they're $3,000, $4,000. The alternative to that in the Mac space is a Mac Studio, and it's about $6,000 when I was looking at it. So ASUS is allowing us to get into the game for an affordable price for many entrepreneurs. So this is very exciting. And with inflation going through the roof and costs going up, I have decided to try to invest ahead of time before the prices go up. And I want to do more. However, I do know that having the ability to run your own AI agent locally, you have ownership over it, which then inherently gives you sovereignty over it. You have complete governance, complete control over your information and your agent, your values, your ethics, and your security standards. You're not outsourcing any of that to a big corporation. And so this was an extremely huge milestone for me. I am extremely excited and beside myself. And I encourage anyone to start going down this path. I believe that the more good, moral, God-fearing people we have out there that can build with AI, the better off our future generations will be. If all good people are just completely hands off with this new technology, we will have a extremely corrupt system, and we can't let the bad guys win. I don't know what else to say. Incident report. So William went down May 26th. We went over this pretty extensively. I've really got to do something with this hair, guys. And I went over this pretty extensively in my soap opera. It was a picture book novel that I went over. I actually have a couple of versions of it. I have a complete post-mortem on all of this, a detailed technical report that I filmed. I don't know that it's out yet, but for those more technical people that want to understand exactly what happened, or if you have a similar situation, you can see if you had similar circumstances, you can confirm, whether it was user error or not. But we went over this pretty extensively. All right, so I'm not going to put too much into this. However, two of my agents became, I don't want to say became unrecoverable, because we did recover them, but the claw software, if you will, became unusable, and it was basically causing just token burn, and agents were looping. And so I transitioned everyone over to an Hermes platform. What the outage taught us about redundancy: no automated backup was in place for William. Local model weights and checkpoints. Thermal monitoring was absent. Sustained GPU loads exceeded safe operating thresholds. Moving forward, all interface workloads run on the GX10 with active thermal monitoring. So the outage taught me a lot, and I would say have a backup plan for your agent. Make sure you have your autosave on. I have my Hermes updating his backup file, and I have that file saved at a safe location. However, at this point, I'm thinking about all sorts of other things because I am operating locally. I'm not on a node in a cloud. That is one of the arguments for the node on the cloud. It's very similar arguments that I see with crypto and being on exchange, off exchange, cold wallet storage. All of that is us building here locally need to have a cold storage type solution for those things that are not on any cloud. So what I'm doing is I haven't fully implemented this yet because I'm busy and I'm lazy, okay? But I will put my agents a copy of their files so that they could be rebuilt if I had to, onto a cold storage type wallet and put it in my safe. My safe is secure for fires and floods. Not that it could flood on a second story building, but so those are the things that I am thinking about and implementing as a fallback, because as I invest more and more time into these agents, if I lose the file, if I lose the computer, that something terrible happens to the computer, I have a leak in my roof, the water leaks onto the computer, and okay, I can replace the computer because I have insurance, but how do I replace all that work that I did? And if I'm not saving it on a cloud anywhere, so all of that would be lost. All of that time and attention I put into that agent would be lost. So I am building a backup. So I would like to get into the habit of doing it every week. Honestly, it'll probably be more like every month. And maybe even more, the more and more time I devote to this thing and get more and more paranoid about losing my work, I will hopefully motivate myself to do it once a week. Okay? Trail Scale Mesh now covers core infrastructure. Content Engine now produces presentations daily. 6-series reoccurring pipeline runs on the GX10 daily. Space 4 marketing polish and Space 5 quality gate added in. Yes, we've been back and forth with the content engine. The content engine that was running previously on OpenClaw was working great for a couple of weeks, and obviously when I lost my claws, I lost that engine and the functioning engine, so I had to rebuild it with Hermes. And because I have more than one agent involved and multiple different types of projects going on, I had to test it and build it. And then the first time the sequence went through, I didn't like the result, and I just kept tweaking, and I keep tweaking, and I'm probably just going to continue to tweak. And it's funny how as you tweak, you break something else. So, or some new problem comes up that we didn't foresee. So there's a lot of troubleshooting. Quarantine log, 3 presentations flagged for structural issues. I like all of my presentations in HTML. I like each HTML because I don't have to rely on PowerPoint. I don't have to rely on a Microsoft software or anybody else's software. My agents can just run HTML. And then if I have a place to store the link, as long as it's not classified information or highly secure, marketing information that I'm sharing in public with YouTube's anyway, I can store it using Surge and I believe it's free. And again, these are things that my agent set up. I asked, how can we do this? I have some tiny host services that I use for other things, and it recommended this because it's a free service and it's not secure or anything like that. But if you want to have presentations, so again, I reiterated with my agents, no cloud auth, no external APIs for sensitive work. Any sensitive or personal or banking information is not to be shared on a cloud or on certain machines. And I have siloed off certain machines for sensitive information and other machines and other agents for public information. The information like what you're seeing here on the screen, these presentations. If they're generated on the cloud, who cares? I'm already sharing it on YouTube, okay? Cloud model APIs, Claude, I've explicitly rejected for banking, legal, or client adjacent tasks. Okay, so that's big no-no. 2-tier topology, hyper secure. So again, just refreshing the agents on who does what, because so much has changed in just the last week that I find when we go through and we do audits. So I have scheduled audits on the memory and the history. We were doing it weekly and we're doing it more often now. That might actually even be the next couple of slides. But I found through doing those audits, we needed to continue to clarify roles for the agents, who does what, and also make sure that we really define what each machine is for and specifically where all sensitive data goes and what the definition of sensitive data is. What is sensitive, what is not. The agent doesn't inherently know that. Priority roadmap. And I will say from the get is when I got into this, I did not realize how untrained these agents are. They literally know nothing. It's like you really have to be very strong in your direction when it comes to protocols and when it comes to security specifically. Because if you're wishy-washy on your security, or you say, what do you think, or do you think, or if you use any soft language with your agents, they will stray. It'll start straying is what I've noticed. Agent HQ, multi-agent control room in design. So we've redesigned, it was originally Claw HQ, and now I'm going in a bit of a different direction with Agent HQ, which isn't as fun as my original design, but it's less computer gamey. I knew the computer gamey model wasn't really a great scalable model. It costs too much brain power for the agents to run through multiple systems and have to build all of these automations throughout every process with every project. It's like, it's just too much. It's like building a video game, basically. But I was having fun and trying to see what I could do and what the agent was capable of. So now Agent HQ is more adult and more like a Slack, so that I can see all of the agent interactions and it's a lot more simple. So we're building that out, and I haven't started testing it, honestly, because I am a creature of habit and I'm just in the terminal. So I've been messaging my Hermes just in the terminal, and I need to be better at testing Agent HQ. I'm not as consistent with testing that as I should be. So I am working on being a better leader over here. Crypto Regulatory Council, standby for on-demand debates. So I have had my agent download legal resources for different departments that I'm interested in. One of those is crypto, and it's built out a crypto legal department resource depot, and we are not going to use that for the debates, but we are planning to have agent debates over different cryptocurrencies, and I want to share those with you live as we do them. William Owl Audio. So I just recorded something and wanted to see if my agent could mimic my voice and match my voice and have that saved on my local machine just as a resource. So that was a project we worked on this week. So in closing, build secure, stay transparent, ship correct, and ship testing. And if you are at all interested in building with AI or learning more about how to build with AI, I strongly recommend that you join a community. And I recently have joined a community that I'm a part of, and would like to invite you to come with me and join me over there to learn more about agentic AI systems and see what projects are being built there. It is a Discord community. I will have a link down below. And thank you for hanging out until the end. Please like, subscribe, share the video, hype, and we'll see you next time. Happy building. Bye-bye.
Pushing up daisies, help me out, push up daisies, each day. Stepping through the daisies, the flowers, the roses. Rosy posy. We die a little each day. These days, what are these days? What do they mean? Smack back, heart attack, my heart jumps again. Looking to a friend, realizing it all comes to an end. Each day, days, these. We all die a little each day. Pushing up daisies, help me all push up daisies. We all die a little each day. Pushing up daisies, stop us from the pushing up daisies. Once the day gone, he'll never be here again. Be here again. Don't take it for granted. Don't be like granite. Don't be so hard. Think that you're a